What's up, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Between the Cons. My name is Chris, and with me today, Das Wunder Twins.
Ei, Flugen, yes, Toboggans, Lederhosen.
Man, I love that I can just drop something like that on you guys, and you just run with it.
Donkey.
Donkey. That's not, it's... That's
Donka.
That's an animal, a donkey.
I never pretended to be good at American.
Okie dokie. Well, thanks to everybody for tuning in today. Thanks to everybody that's hit us up on the internet this week. We appreciate that. If you've ventured out onto the Apple Podcast app or the Google Play Store to listen to this here episode, we'd appreciate if you give us some love, drop us a little review in there, give us a rating, do what you do. Do as you feel so led.
Just do it.
Just move, or just groove tonight.
Exactly.
Well, not exactly. No. Incorrect. But we're glad you're here. Either way. Thank you for coming and hanging out. We have a pineapple episode. Gonna hit some headlines for you. And it's gonna be a good time. So stick around after this segue. Get you some.
We're gonna have a pineapple situation. What should I do? Pineapple. The word that cannot be spoken. Pineapple.
Just want to say pineapple. If
Pineapples are fun. My dad used to
Pineapple.
throw them at me.
Pineapple.
Seriously? Wow.
Hey, guess what, kids? It's time for another pineapple. And thanks to the world of Disney, half of it will be about D23.
Yay!
If you guys don't know what D23 is, it's okay, because a lot of people probably don't, because it only happens once every 2 years, and a lot of people do not care for D23. It can, if you let it, it can become a very cultish event, in some regards, but there are a lot of people that absolutely fall in love with it. And D23 is a biannual Disney event where they discuss all their upcoming projects, both movie-wise and in the parks. So a lot of this episode will be devoted to that, including the first point of Pineapple, where we pass along some D23 news regarding Epcot. Ooh.
Oh la la.
Oh, speaking of ooh la la, we're going to talk about Ratatouille, which I don't think that was a French accent.
That was absolutely not a French accent. In no way.
In Ratatouille.
Judging you.
Yes,
I'm just shaking my head right now.
I apologize, listeners. I just get so excited because Ratatouille, the ride, will be coming to Epcot and will be added to the France Pavilion of Epcot. It's going to be very similar to the Ratatouille ride that's at Disneyland Paris, which people go nuts for. I never knew people on the internet could rave so much about a ride that they've never been on.
Or a rat.
I know! A rat with good hygiene at that. I didn't mean to rhyme that either, but
yes, you did.
Yeah, I did try, I guess. But this ride will be coming to the France Pavilion at Epcot, kind of joining along with the more recent theme at Epcot of as people named it, Ipcot, Intellectual Property Community of Tomorrow. So going along in that line as well, there'll also be a Guardians of the Galaxy attraction coming to Epcot, a ride that's supposedly going to replace Ellen's Energy Adventure.
Oh no, what bad news. How will we ever live?
I think we'll manage.
I think we will. A lot of those upfront attractions at Epcot that are 90s themed, the screenshots show the Guardians of the Galaxy ride going into that building. So I'm okay with this happening. I think it can only help Epcot, whatever you want to call it these days. So that's kind of exciting that the Epcot is getting a good bit of love this go round. I hope they'll keep the cultural flavor of it. Yeah, it is. It needed some love. So I think this will be a good change for Epcot, hopefully in the long run, while still keeping the theming that kind of Walt envisioned originally. So we'll hope and pray for the best on this one. And Pineapple.
We have our 13th Doctor.
What?
Which is exciting. So
it is.
There's been a lot of kerfuffle around Doctor Who since Peter Capaldi announced his retirement from the character not too long ago, actually, or what feels like not too long ago. But BBC One posted a little teaser video revealing Jodie Whittaker as the 13th Doctor. She is a woman. She's a woman. First woman to have the role. Super exciting. I think a lot of Doctor Who fans out there are super happy about that. I know I am. And I wasn't even one of the Doctor Who fans that was advocating for a female doctor. I just wanted somebody better. So it's really cool. And on top of her being the first woman doctor, she's also another Broadchurch doctor. So she comes from the show Broadchurch, which is also on BBC One. David Tennant, who is the 10th Doctor, he was also on Broadchurch. So
Yeah,
kind
he
of cool.
was.
Kind of cool to see that go come back around, like BBC staying true to their people kind of thing. And then with Jodie Whittaker coming in, being first woman, staying true to her people, there's a little bit of another twist in there. Chris Chibnall, who is the new showrunner for Doctor Who since Stephen, oh my gosh, I forgot his last name. Moffat, Stephen Moffat. Yeah. There we go. Since Stephen Moffat stepped away from the show, Chris Chibnall's coming in as the new showrunner, and he's actually the creator of Broadchurch. So, kind of cool all around. Broadchurch is a really great show if you haven't seen it. I strongly suggest you watch it if you haven't, especially if you like Doctor Who. I feel like you'd really be into to Broadchurch. But Jodie Whittaker is going to be debuting as the 13th Doctor when the Doctor regenerates in the Christmas special this year. Of course, being released on Christmas Day, because
that's just how they do.
Doctor Who stays pretty true to the fact that they have a Christmas special, and they actually release it on Christmas, which is neat. But yeah, that's really exciting. I'm really pumped to see a female Doctor. I'm really interested to see kind of how the show progresses. With Chris Chibnall being the new showrunner, with Jodie Whittaker being the new Doctor. There's a lot of change going on for Doctor Who right now. No pun intended, because he regenerates, or she regenerates, I guess. But there's a lot of change going on right now, and I'm really excited to see what that leads to. I think it's going to be a really great turn. But I'm also super biased against Stephen Moffat, so maybe that's just me. But Christmas Day, check out the 13th Doctor, make her reveal. I'm sure we'll talk about it handfuls of times between now and then. Dozens. Just because
in fact, dozens.
Right. Just because I know I love Doctor Who. Masterman Drabo loves Doctor Who. I feel like
Are you guys going to the Riff Tracks Doctor Who, the 5 Doctor special coming up in the middle of August?
Did not know that was a thing, but probably now, yeah.
It is. You should be going. I don't remember the exact date, but it'll be, I think it's either the second or third week in August when it's going to be happening. They're riffing the 5 Doctor special that has been much maligned among the Doctor Who community.
Oh my gosh, that's so great. Yeah, I will probably do that.
You do it.
But yeah, that's it for the Pineapple Point. Just Jodie Whittaker, 13th Doctor. Check it out. Check out the sweet little reveal video and Pineapple.
Well, we've talked about Epcot. Now it's time to talk about Hollywood Studios news. Hollywood Studios, probably the most iconic ride at Hollywood Studios. I say that, but I mean the most iconic ride having to do with the theming of the park itself is probably the Great Movie Ride. There's just so much about this ride that is just iconic, to the Chinese theater exterior, to so many classic movies represented
And
in it.
when you walk into Hollywood Studios, it is now they took down the sorcerer's hat. It's now the first thing you see straight at the end of Hollywood Boulevard.
To the point of where they even have, the projection show, the new projection show on the Chinese theater there in the evening. So it's become so iconic. But in a really surprising news, they're replacing the Great Movie Ride. This wouldn't usually be such a big deal because Disney usually, replaces one ride with something great. But they're replacing it with something called Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Great.
It's, I don't know. The fan reception has seemed kind of mixed to this. To give you some background about why this change is happening, Disney has had this agreement with TCM, Turner Classic Movies, to, sponsor the Great Movie Ride.
Right.
And that contract is expiring in 2018. And as we've already seen with what happened with Twilight Zone Tower of Terror in Disney California Adventure.
And also what's happening with Universal a good bit, too.
Universal also is that they're wanting to let these third-party licenses expire, and they want to use their own intellectual property to save money. So I guess Disney probably thought to themselves, okay, Mickey Mouse, for a park that is supposed to be so iconic to this character, is woefully underrepresented in terms of the ride department. Like, I think this is literally Mickey's first, track-based ride. Like, there's I think the Mickey's, I know it's not called Philharmonic. It's like a pun on that in Magic Kingdom. But this is like Mickey's first track-based ride.
I actually think it is the Philharmonic.
Yeah, okay. If I got that right, then good. My memory's okay, sort of. But essentially, it gets kind of a little worse from there. When you think Mickey and Minnie, you think, okay, the classic cartoon style.
Philharmagic.
Philharmagic. Thank you. I almost there.
So close.
Almost there. It's really good. You should go check it out if you're there. But essentially, you'd think it's kind of the classic Mickey cartoon style. I mean, think whether it's Mickey Mouse Clubhouse or The Sorcerer's Apprentice or anything of that nature. No, they're going with the more recent television animation style of Mickey. Disney Channel has had these Mickey Mouse shorts that have been playing for the past, I guess, 2 to 3 years that have they have a very grungy style. Like, they're kind of really rough looking. They're not very refined animation. They're very podunk kind of. I mean, rough. I mean, think kind of Ren and Stimpy, but Disney.
And they use a lot of sepia tone, also very flat coloring. They're not shiny at all. You're not going to find any gloss in this animation.
So it's a very bizarre choice why they're going with this, the television, the Mickey Mouse shorts as the aesthetic theme for the ride. And I mean, one interesting aspect is it's supposed to be a 2.5D ride, where it's pretty much, they're considering it like
glassesless 3D.
Yeah, but essentially 2.5D with rotating screens,
right,
a great projecting system, which of course they would use screens, so they cut down on the cost of actually developing the set, so they could just throw something else in there, I guess, later on. So clearly there's some cost reasons why they're going with this screen technology. Even though they're claiming it's going to be revolutionary, Disney always says everything's revolutionary.
Everything's revolutionary.
It is. So, and then it's explain, Robert, the last note.
Well, I mean, honestly, to me, how they were describing it, if you guys remember the Get a Horse short from before Frozen, which is the first time anybody had seen Mickey Mouse in a movie in years, much less a short, but there's a short that premiered before Frozen called Get a Horse, where Mickey's being chased by Bluto. Is it? No.
You're thinking Popeye.
No, I'm
Pete.
sorry. I'm so sorry.
Pete.
I butchered that. Pete. Yes, I apologize. Pete is being chased by Pete, and they actually jump through the screen, and it makes you feel like they're actually running through the theater. And I kind of get that vibe from the ride, where it feels like the ride's going to pull you into it, into an actual Mickey Mouse short. So, you know, there's some good things that could come from it, but I don't know. It's Hollywood Studios, not Mickey Studios.
Yeah, and it's really sad to see the Great Movie Ride go away, because it is such iconic movies. I know, at least when I first heard about it, it was one of those things where, like, those are the movies that, like, I remember growing up with as, like, being the oldie but goodies kind of thing. And I remember even the first time going to the Great Movie Ride, while you're waiting in line, you pass props for all of these movies that are, like, some of these movies are older than our parents. Like, it's crazy that to think this ride's going to go away, and then, like, what's going to become of those props? Are they going to a museum? Are they going up for auction? What happens there? And then with the ride itself, it's a really campy ride. It's really goofy, but it's fun. It's a good time. And to see that go away, I don't know, it kind of stings a little, honestly.
It does. And if you have never been or want to go, you should probably hurry because they're closing it in August. So
yeah, now is the time to do it.
Yeah, so the closing is really imminent. It'll be really sad to see it go. We can hope that maybe the Mickey Mouse ride will maybe make us okay, but we're not getting our hopes up. We'll see what happens.
Right.
Pineapple.
The Dark Tower has 8 novels. Like 4,200 pages-ish. Over 4,200 pages. And they're making a movie about it. We've talked about this. Well, we found out that this week that the movie is going to be a whopping 95 minutes long.
Wow.
Is this like an inverse Hobbit effect?
I don't know. Yeah, it is. Like, I don't really know how to feel about that. I mean, Mr. Naughty List, Ginger Giant, Chris 2, myself, have all recently read or are in the process of finishing this series. And to think, like, 95 minutes for 8 novels?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Are they literally cramming? They're literally cramming the plot of all of these novels like into this one movie.
Well, it's kind of the weird part about it. Like, there's been conversation about it being a continuation of the story. There's been conversation about it being like a condensed version of the story. So I still don't know exactly what we're looking at, but we talked about last week or 2 weeks, I think it was last week with the Ginger Giant. We talked about it possibly being a prequel intro kind of movie that does like a little bit of harking back on this particular scene from one of the books, or it's really the majority of one of the books, Wizard and Glass, where it's a flashback, and the flashback takes place well before the first book actually happens. So maybe it's integrating that story along with part of the first book, second book and third book, or maybe it's just doing a lot of flashing back and flashing forward kind of thing, kind of building out the groundwork while creating its own story. Kind of, I don't really know what. I just wanted to bring up the fact that we found out it's 95 minutes.
Wow. Isn't that about the length of X-Men The Last Stand?
Please don't bring that up.
I'm just keeping it real, yo.
I don't know. I don't want you to keep it real. I don't appreciate that.
Okay.
That hurt my soul. And
It's okay.
now I'm looking it up just to make sure it's not the same length.
I'm almost positive it is.
Oh my gosh.
I think it's.
I don't
Let's
want
find
it.
out.
I'm doing it right now. X-Men The Last Stand, 104 minutes.
Oh.
So it had 10 more minutes, X-Men The Last
That's
Stand.
almost even more insulting. Like,
I don't know. You can fit a lot of crap into a movie.
You can. Let's just hope that maybe they're not just blazing through the entirety of eight books in one film like that.
Harry Potter sure didn't.
True. But 95 minutes, Dark Tower movie. Not really sure how to feel about it, but I know I feel feelings. Pineapple.
It's good that you still feel. Now, guys, in Magic Kingdom news, we've got. I know. Okay, you guys.
Why did that sound like it was the beginning of a scary story on Halloween?
I have no idea. I don't know. It's probably because I was just watching a rerun of America's Got Talent where they had Pumpkin Dancing Man from YouTube on there.
Oh my
so
gosh.
I was getting into my Halloween spirit. But
I'm David Pumpkins. Anyway.
David S. Pumpkins.
Sorry. Continue.
Anyway, in Magic Kingdom news, you know how you have these old school Tomorrowland Speedway cars in Tomorrowland at Magic Kingdom, and I've not been a big fan of these.
I don't think anyone has. Other than tiny small children.
Well, that's true. And I mean, even when we went to Disney World, and we actually went ironically during Halloween, and we dressed as Mario and Luigi. We took pictures on these like we were doing Mario Kart style, like we were throwing shells at each other.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And so when we heard the news of finally that awesome Tron Light Cycle coaster from Shanghai Disneyland, and actually, I apologize. Disneyland Tokyo, I apologize. Is coming to Magic Kingdom. Everybody's like, oh yes. It's going to be replacing the Tomorrowland Speedway. It's going to be replacing it. No, guys, it's not replacing it. It's going behind it.
Well, I'm surprised they didn't. What's the Space Mountain?
Yeah.
That's such a perfect venue for that. And I feel like it would be a really cool thing to do in there. But I feel like they just renovated Space Mountain only a few years ago. So I guess that wouldn't really make a lot of sense from a cost perspective.
Yeah, and also Tomorrowland is one of the areas of the park that's really lacking in terms of attractions, I feel like.
They do have that sweet tour though. That tour ride.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
That thing's pretty neat. No joke. I actually really enjoy it.
I mean, it is. It's really awesome. It's really awesome to be able to go through and check out the little dioramas and everything. And I mean, it's got the Carousel of Progress. It's got the Stitches Escape, which is now only seasonal because people don't really care for it. So I feel like they probably really just needed a ride in Tomorrowland, something to at least get people out of the streets and into attractions instead of clogging up areas of the park all the time. So
that should be happening. That light cycle coaster where you actually ride a light cycle out of Tron, which is pretty awesome. It should be in place before the 50th anniversary of Magic Kingdom in 2021. So that's the plan for it. The other major change coming to Magic Kingdom that was announced was that they're going to be adding a 2,000-seat theater to Main Street USA.
Good grief. Where?
I know. They're saying the projection is possibly according to DSNY Newscast, which is a really awesome YouTube newscast. It's about 5 or 6 minute segments on Disney News through the week. They do a great job. Check them out on YouTube. But according to DSNY Newscast, they feel as though it's either going to go one of two places. In the existing Main Street Theater, which would people are afraid it'd kind of mess up the facade if they did that.
For sure.
And so the other place is they're kind of thinking that they could clear out a backstage area, like when you're going into Magic Kingdom in Main Street USA. When you're looking over towards the right, and that's where the character meet and greet area is in the existing theater.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, they're thinking of making a path to go behind the buildings and kind of over to the right of Main Street USA. So you're going behind those buildings to the right of Main Street USA as you're walking towards Magic Kingdom, making a path and building the theater behind those buildings. So it's kind of like you have to walk off of Main Street to get to the theater. And which makes sense from a traffic standpoint. Like, you should only be going to the theater if you really need to go to the theater. And that will, so they're thinking that it's going to be off of Main Street, kind of a pathway behind some of the existing buildings there, possibly, and building it in a backstage area, kind of
that's
where
interesting.
Park is now. Yeah, so they're going to do shows several times a day, which, some of the other parks do. I think Hollywood Studios is the main one that does shows several times a day right now.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So
well, they have the most real estate to do shows several times a day.
That's true. Now, I'm thinking this is my perspective on it. They're doing so many renovations at Hollywood Studios right now that I feel like some of the existing shows there are probably going to get taken away. And
the second they take away the Indiana Jones show, they have officially lost my business.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I'm afraid that type of thing is going to happen. And so as these shows kind of start leaving Hollywood Studios due to the construction, I feel like some of them may get a home at this theater. But like the Indiana Jones show, you're not going to replace that. If it's gone.
Well, and with Harrison Ford coming back and like redoing all of his old characters, Indiana, like we already know Indiana Jones is coming.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't have an exact time, like we don't have an exact date yet.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, if that's something that's on the horizon, that to kind of put a new face on the franchise and bring it back around, in a way that Kingdom of the Crystal Skull wishes it could have, then it might be something that sticks around for another generation.
Yeah, absolutely. We can hope, at least. We can.
Yes, we
certainly
can.
Hope. We can. And that's the end of the Magic Kingdom news. Pineapple.
So Zack Snyder, surprise, surprise, being all petty.
What? What are you saying?
So we know, right? So we know Zack Snyder stepped down for some pretty serious reasons from Justice League, and not gonna hold that against him in any way. Family first, for sure. But Joss Whedon is running the ship now, and they're currently doing reshoots for the movie. We've been told that Joss Whedon is keeping the aesthetic. It's going to look like a Snyder film, even though Joss is at the helm. But the weird thing about it, and why I say Zack Snyder's being all petty, is with San Diego Comic-Con approaching, the Warner Brothers is doing a huge DCEU presentation, and with that all kind of on the horizon, only like a few days away, Zack Snyder has deleted all things Justice League from his Twitter account. Every mention he has made of Justice League, every photo, teaser, whatever he has posted is gone. So a lot of fans are kind of like flipping their lid, like, what is he doing? It definitely gives bad press for the DCEU. And on top of that, it just doesn't bode well. But my thought is, kind of seems like he's just washing his hands of it, because it's not his anymore. It's not his movie. It's Joss Whedon's movie. He started it. He laid the framework, but Joss Whedon came in and he's reworked some of it. They're doing reshoots. He's keeping the aesthetic, but honestly, I think that's more so when they do reshoots, it doesn't look like it's a completely, like, the reshoots don't look like they're completely separate scenes. But yeah, I think it's very strange, and I think it's very telling of Zack Snyder that I believe his future with the DCEU is extinct, honestly.
Well, I mean, and I will probably get some backlash about saying this to certain parties,
But you fans that are actually listening and want to give us backlash, feel free to do so we know you're listening.
yeah,
Do it.
absolutely.
Yes,
Social
please.
media is there for a reason.
As long as you leave us 5 stars on iTunes, but otherwise.
But I don't think doing Zack Snyder style films has helped DC in the long run.
Yeah, and I mean Zack Snyder, everything Zack Snyder's touched for DC has not ended well, and I think that's one thing that they kind of learned when Wonder Woman hit so well, and I think that's one thing that when when Batman vs Superman was kind of in its announcement phase, and we found out Zack Snyder was in it. It wasn't or was going to be directing it. It wasn't like, oh yay, Zack Snyder. It was, let's see if he can fix the garbage dumpster fire that he started with Man of Steel. And I think that with Wonder Woman coming out, kind of with under a different director, Joss Whedon signing on for Batgirl, David Ayer doing Suicide Squad, which was really successful despite having not excellent reviews. This podcast being one of those not excellent reviews. And Gotham City Sirens getting a lot of groundswell under David Ayer as well. I think it's DCEU is learning, like Warner Brothers is learning. I don't think Zack Snyder is what we need.
No, I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the upcoming cons and the upcoming presentations to see if
for sure.
What you're kind of thinking about is kind of leaning in that direction, and it could very well.
Yeah, and it could be nothing. It's definitely something worth talking about. But with San Diego Comic-Con being this weekend, I mean, we'll find out soon enough. Pineapple.
So I guess to bunch all of our Disney park news together, so you get the full dose of it. One of the major announcements, which is kind of completely out of the blue, was that they're going to open a Star Wars themed hotel at Walt Disney World.
I ain't mad.
This isn't just a generic Star Wars hotel like the Art of Animation or Pop Century or anything like that. This is a fully immersive experience. Like straight up, it's 2 days of eat, live, and breathe Star Wars.
I ain't mad.
I mean, yeah, it sounds amazing. That it's so immersive to the point where there will be no windows in the building and everything is LCD views of space. Every single room has an LCD built-in window that is a view of space. So this is a fully immersive experience where you don't have to leave the hotel. You get to dress in a costume the whole time. I know, it's amazing.
You ain't even mad.
I mean, it's Crunk City. I mean, it's amazing. Even interacting with actors that are portraying different characters in the Star Wars universe, like just generic, people have called it maybe like the Westworld, right? Westworld, thank you. You see how much HBO I watch. The Westworld equivalent in Star Wars without the questionable women that I'm certain you're not going to be doing things with.
Naked robots.
Exactly. They have
standards.
Yeah. They have standards. So essentially, it's your fully immersive Star Wars experience,
That's so
which.
Cool.
It is and this is Disney themselves has said there's nothing else like this on Earth. It
makes me wish I was one of the 830 University of Mobile kids that moved to Orlando after graduation.
Exactly. Well, you might be thinking that, but the reality is that I don't even know if people that work at Disney may be able to afford this, because the minimum stay per night is $600.
Start saving now.
Yes, and it's a rumored 2-day maximum stay starting at $600 per night, with a $200 extra per person per night.
Why is it per person?
I don't know. The rooms have a maximum of 4 people that can stay in them.
Well, I guess if it's an all-inclusive kind of thing, like if the meals and like the activities and all of that are included, I mean, that's still really expensive, but it makes more sense.
I mean, if you get to like take home your outfit and you get this entire like almost Disney princess a la Star Wars customization thing you got going on, and you get all these perks and experiences and stuff, then I mean, if you're a huge Star Wars fan and you want to spend, a 2-day max of $1,200 to experience this, then by all means, I mean, and it could certainly be something to save up for. And
for sure.
And I mean, so it definitely, it'll be interesting. I would be anxious to see when it opens, what the initial reviews will be, if it's that immersive. It'll be interesting to see how Disney has to be appropriate in the guidelines with a fully immersive experience between staff and visitors.
Because I mean, when it comes to having a disagreement about your $1,200 bill, is the staff member going to stay in character?
The cast member?
Cast member, sorry.
Oh, I thought I said cast member. But is the person going to stay in character as they talk to you about your $1,200 charge, or is it going to be hold my?
I hope so.
Or is it going to be hold my?
Lisa, no, you paid a bill.
Gosh.
You just had to go there.
Or yes, I did. Or like is the line of what divides a cast member from a visitor in terms of interactions. Like if you're interacting with some Star Wars alien lady, to make sure that the visitors know, look, this is just the part of the immersive experience. No, you can't be her friend afterwards. Like, so just really making sure that people that are paying this money, that there's strong guidelines in place to make sure the experience is smooth and that it's immersive, but yet is not overtaken by weirdness and awkwardness. So yeah, I don't think they gave some time. They may have given a date on when that's going to be, but I would say you probably won't see it for another 2 to 3 years, if that. Look forward to that. Start saving now. Pineapple.
Start saving now. Well, I guess I'll jump on the D23 train, with something actually related to Disney. So, California Adventure. They did the Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout.
Oh yeah.
Opened up a few months ago, and huge hit. I mean, California Adventure has seen so much traffic since the opening of that ride, which is hilarious to me because it's essentially the same ride as Tower of Terror. It's just a new experience. With Guardians of the Galaxy. But we talked about it on the show a while back, that there is a bunker lid in kind of off to the side near Mission Breakout, and it has the Avengers logo on it.
Yes.
Well, we found out at D23 that does have a meaning. Bob Chapek, the chairman of Disney Parks and Resorts, says that they're going to be expanding at California Adventure, including Spider-Man and the Avengers attractions. Didn't really say what those attractions were going to be, whether they're going to be rides or they're going to be shows or something like that, but said that they're going to be expanding it to include the Avengers. And I'm sure eventually they'll be expanding into the entire MCU, especially if it continues to do super well.
Oh yeah, they're going to take full advantage of that west of the Mississippi rights.
Oh, for sure. And on top of that, they're also doing this really cool thing in Disneyland Paris. They're opening a hotel, what's called Hotel New York, and it is the full name is Disney's Hotel New York: The Art of Marvel, and it's gonna be just chock full of artwork from Marvel, whether it be related to the movies, the comics, the animated series, anything Marvel. It's gonna have cool art stuff there, which I think is excellent. I think that's super neat. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of detail around when we can start expecting these new attractions, when we can expect this new hotel. Nothing really, which pretty much sucks. But I think it's cool. I think it's cool that they kind of dropped their own Easter egg in construction of Mission Breakout, or reconstruction of Mission Breakout, to get some buzz going so they could have a bigger reveal at D23.
Absolutely.
That's really all. That's a short one.
Pineapple. I just wish there was really a bunker under the A.
Oh my gosh. That would be the best reveal.
It would be.
Or if it's like a cast member, like secret tunnel.
Yeah. Be awesome. Let's take some bolt cutters. Let's go to California Adventure and let's cut the chains off of it.
Or guys, what if it's actually just a remake of Superstar Limo?
Pineapple.
Okay, guys. We've got our last D23 point. I know you're so super excited about this, but it comes into 3 words. And technically, all 3 words aren't specifically accurate, but we're going with them. Live action remakes. I know those 3 words that you guys just can't get enough of at all, obviously, because one of you guys keeps totally nagging Bob Iger and keeps telling him, "Look, guys, I just want you to make some more live action remakes of movies."
Because you keep throwing money at him, you guy. Whoever you are out there throwing money at Bob Iger, quit doing it.
It's probably me.
Probably. I've been to a few, so I'm guilty as well.
I haven't been mad at the live action remakes that I've seen.
No, Cinderella was really good.
Cinderella's the only one that I haven't seen, and everybody says that it was really good.
Date night, Chris.
What? Oh, I thought you were I thought you were talking about Date Night with Steve Carell and Tina Fey. I was like, that is absolutely no way a Disney live action remake.
No.
Also, that movie is pretty old for you to be bringing up. I remember that was one of the first movies I ever saw on Blu-ray.
Oh my gosh. No, I would not dare suggest you see that piece of work. But honestly, they announced at D23 some interesting things about their latest live action stuff. But Will Smith is going to be cast as Genie in the live action remake of Aladdin.
We'll see how that goes.
We will.
That's my input.
Go ahead. Yeah. Suffice it to say, Colin Farrell, Danny DeVito, and Michael Keaton will be in a remake of Dumbo.
Not surprising for something Tim Burton's putting together.
That's true.
That is, 2 of those 3 were in Batman.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
So.
That's true. One of them was in Spider-Man.
Daredevil.
Oh, true, too. Exactly. And then also, Emily Blunt is going to be cast as Mary Poppins in Mary Poppins Returns, not a remake.
This is true. That one's super weird to me because it's not a remake. It's a Returns. Like, it's a continuation of the Mary Poppins story. That's a long time to wait to continue a story. Because Mary Poppins came out in 1964. And now, in 2018, right, is when that one's coming out. The new one. They're doing a continuation of the story. It's just strange to me.
It is strange. I think that honestly, I don't think they could ever get away with doing a remake of it while Julie Andrews is alive.
Yeah. Well, I think with the good feedback that Saving Mr. Banks got,
Yeah.
because that movie was more or less about Mary Poppins, like at least the story behind it. I think with that getting so much attention, especially from the younger audience, I think that kind of re-sparked a love for Mary Poppins, and people went and took their kids to see Saving Mr. Banks, and then showed them Mary Poppins. And now that those kids have seen the original Mary Poppins, it's like, oh my gosh, I love Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins is my hero. And then very sneaky, Disney-owned Marvel drops a Mary Poppins reference into Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So, man, they are like subliminal messaging their way to like immortality.
Oh, they are. They are.
I'm just waiting for the Song of the South live action remake. You think it's gonna happen, guys? No.
Pineapple.
So last pineapple for the day. Comic related. I feel like we should at least drop one of these into every episode, even though we don't always. But comic related, Marvel, of course, because I read the Marvel comics, not the DC comics. Nothing against the DC comics. I have a lot of DC trades, just not a lot of DC issues. But Marvel has been doing this Weapons of Mutant Destruction crossover storyline, which is really cool. And it's all kind of culminated in Weapon H. And Weapon H has been revealed, and it is freakadeaky awesome. So Weapon H is like this mashup of Wolverine and Hulk, but
Wow.
it goes a little further than that. It's a combination of all of the Weapon X projects. So Lady Deathstrike, Domino, Sabretooth, Wolverine, Warpath, and Hulk. They all come together into this one creepy looking Hulk. He's like gray skin, huge Wolverine looking claws. Funny enough, he has like a high and tight haircut. So it's like kind of like not slicked back, but like just really dapper looking, which I thought was really strange.
So he's a Dapper Dan man?
He's a dapper. Oh man, that's not gonna work. Yeah, he's a Dapper Dan man. I was gonna say he's a dapper Bruce man, but it's not Bruce Banner.
Yeah, you tried.
Yeah, but really funny high and tight haircut. Not funny, just kind of out of place.
Yeah.
Bright blue pants, and the most interesting part is, other than the claws and the gray skin, he looks just like Hulk, like your regular Hulk.
Really?
But he has these like giant spikes sticking out all over his body. So I don't really know what they're for yet. Or what they are, what they do, and I don't really know anything about him. But he is like a freaking crazy looking mutant thing. And I'm really excited to like read more about Weapon H. Like what he is, what kind of stuff he's going to encounter. Like whether or not he is like, I don't want to say dumb, but like if he has like a higher level intellect than regular Hulk.
Oh yeah.
Because I think that there's tons of opportunity for this character, and I think that it's been a long time since we've had something this weird, like a mashup of other characters kind of combined into one, without it being like a campy knockoff or campy spin-off miniseries kind of thing, like Deadpool the Duck or something like that.
Oh yeah.
So I think it's really cool. I'm really excited to read about it. I just wanted to bring it up. I think it's a really interesting storyline. So anyone who hasn't been reading the Weapons of Mutant Destruction crossover that likes Marvel Comics, I think it's a great thing that everybody should check out.
What kind of bed would that Hulk have to sleep on?
A boat size bed. Yeah, he's a big dude. He's a real big dude.
Yeah, and for the spikes too. How would he keep from piercing the mattress?
Maybe he just hangs upside down like Beast.
Probably.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense.
Or maybe he doesn't sleep because he's, Weapon H. Maybe he doesn't need it.
He's Weaperation H.
Weaperation H.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, and on that note, I'm just gonna pineapple it. But that's it. That's it for the show. Sorry, I said Weaperation H. If you guys are interested in sponsoring the show, check out Patreon, Satchel, Amazon. Those are the ways you can help us out. Check out our website, betweenthecons.com. You can link out to our social media sites. You can stream our episodes online. You can link out to our sponsorship sites as well. You can link out to Afixa, who does our theme music, who's really awesome. Just go to betweenthecons.com/bandcamp. And then make sure you guys tune in on Monday because we're going to be back with a new episode and you don't want to miss it. And make sure you guys subscribe. We release a new episode every Monday and Thursday. And honestly, it's a good time.
It is a good time.
We try and have fun here. So
we do. I know you guys can't tell it, but we sometimes like doing this podcast.
Yeah, and
sometimes.
We're available like everywhere. iHeartRadio, iTunes, Google Play, Overcast. There's more RSS feed. So anything that you have that can read an RSS feed, you can plug us in there. Just go to betweenthecons.com/RSS and you'll get our RSS feed. Like there's so many options. Go to betweenthecons.com/subscribe. And then from there, it'll take you to a little picker. You pick whatever you use for your podcast app and you go out from there. I mean, subscribe. Do it.
You can also ask your local organ grinder if maybe he has our podcast, but
get him subscribed,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just ask as long as his monkey doesn't bite you. I mean, oh yeah.
Don't get bit by the monkey. But
don't.
You guys have a great weekend. Tune in on Monday. We're going to be back, and we will talk to you then.
Bye.
I pretty much have all that mess in my brain anyway.